But you know, this event, this week at least, you're going to be going up against Team Frost. Last time you guys came out here, you know, Samurai was in his OCV streak. You know, your team was the only team that he never has OCV'd at SFL. He'll never do that? I mean, you banned his Akuma last time. He's going to have the Akuma this time.
I mean, it don't really matter. It's a fake Tokido. Not as good. Meditation is not real. It's just something he sees someone else does and copy it.
Wow.
So it doesn't, he's not Tokido at all. Gameplay-wise, it's night and day. Results-wise, it's night and day. Results against me, it's night and day. You know, undefeated versus him, maybe beat him like 5 times in tournament. He can't touch me. I'm like Floyd Mayweather or Undertaker is what I would like to call myself against him before he lost the streak, like the Undertaker.
So pre-loss Undertaker.
Yeah, he can't mess with me. So I'm gonna smoke you, Samurai. So you better hope you get your good order, because I know that's what y'all hoping on. And you know, that's just it.
Maybe they felt like it was an easier path for Samurai to get to the, you know, the Punk match, maybe.
Broly was feeling bad.
He was feeling bad. He was like, I want to get this guy.
He's like, yeah, I don't want to beat him too hard with my main, and I want to make sure the Punk Samurai match happens. I get it. I get it.
And you can see that 1 over there, because that's the number of team members left on Frost, as you see Punk taking off the jacket.
Oh.
He said in an interview, he's like, I can't wait. I look forward to it, he says. I look forward to playing Samurai. He wants to beat this dude up with Karen.
Yeah, he was waiting. He was standing by as Broly was playing that match, and he wasn't impressed at all. In fact,
to yawn.
He wasn't even phased by it. He's like, oh, yeah,
didn't even care.
It's all right. That Akuma's just all right.
Wait a minute, they're getting off.
But he does have like a valid point, though. He's played against Tokido time and time again, and there was
at
a
Evo
year,
Grand Finals.
specifically a year in 2018 where Tokido took it over Punk multiple times in every single major. And that was a big point of discussion in the fighting game community.
Yeah.
Was like, is Punk ever going to reclaim his former status as the alpha? It was Tokido's year, and he was just obliterating Punk match after match. So he has that much experience under his belt. It shows in his numbers. But let's take a look at Samurai's numbers as well. 23 and 14. You have 22 to 13 on the side of Punk, right? 53 and 40 for Samurai. 52 and 34 for Punk.
Ooh.
Very, very close in numbers in general.
But look who's winning,
standings.
Look who has the most games won. It's 23 on the side of Samurai, 22 for Punk.
But he also has more games played compared to Punk.
But even still, I feel like that just means he's that much more prepared. He's seen the most. He's seen the worst.
Or he's been put in these OCD positions numerous times.
Here we go. It is going to be Team Frost. Samurai, the lone survivor of the team, going up against the captain of Team Inferno, Punk, who has JB and his Nash sitting right behind him. I feel like this is checkpoint if Samurai can beat Punk. It might be checkpoint. I don't know how he's going to do against this Nash, but we're about to find out.
Man, right out the gate.
Oh, man. This isn't looking good already. Forward
Stand
throw.
short off the counter, it confirmed immediately into the low forward. Oh.
Demon flip palm.
-2.
Oh,
yeah, check that.
Throw.
Forward throw.
More than half-life already gone.
Another one. Take my throw. That's a CFN. Take my throw, Steve.
Oh, okay. EX gets the Tatsu and the activation. All right, here we go. Side switch. He has a lot of work to do. EX for Sinha is right there. You got to be careful with that air approach. There's a forward throw of his own. Oh,
he knew it! That's exactly what Tokido did to him before.
It's not over there.
It is over, Steve. It is.
Round number 1.
He was anticipating the air fireball. Punk went through with the EX Tenko. Samurai came down with the cross-up, and it's already an explosive match. The first round, Samurai taking notes from Tokido.
Round number 1 went to Samurai, and it looked like it was going all downhill. The toilet had already been flushed, and he's like, you know what? We got a straggler. Samurai brings it back.
As soon as he put his pants back up, he wasn't done. That's nasty, Steve. Why you talked about toilet flushing. I'm not gonna leave you hanging.
All right, leave me hanging. All right, here we go. Back throw.
Oh, no.
Crouching Strong goes into that fireball. Game just about even. Lively still in favor of Punk, but that Great Life is it's growing on that life bar of Karen.
Oh, nice check on the dash there. You can tell Samurai is really trying to push the issue by dashing up, trying to catch Samurai off guard. Activation off the... He's still pressing the stand
This
jab.
dude is crazy.
Uppercut.
the DP
Oh,
and
the
the
correct
CA.
Oh, he's dead.
Samurai. Give me a shot of Punk. Give me a shot of Punk. I need a shot of Punk stat.
all the
I need a
Punk,
shot of
man?
Punk stat. I need a shot of Punk stat. Look at his face. Look at his face. Look at it. I love that zoom in. There you go, cameraman. Get in there. He's a part of the team too. All right, let's go. Game.
Kevin can't even sit down, and I don't blame him. I don't want to sit down in my seat either, honestly.
Is this what it's gonna be? Yo, Punk ain't even wearing the headset. My man's going out into the
No
wild.
headset, no jacket. He fights for himself, Steve.
Right.
That's what's going on.
It's about more than a team. Gets the big crush. This is not looking good at the beginning of game number 2. Round number 1, there's a tick throw of his own.
Again, that +3 position. You do not want to press a button when Crouch Strong comes out from Akuma. So he opted for the reversal. He had to push him away. The forward fierce catches him, and the corner carry, and the damage.
Walk up. Nice series.
Nice whip punish there from Punk. He's going to go for the side switch. No, he gets the damage and the carry outside of the corner. The sweep activation time. Back away.
Okay. Gets to range of that low forward, and there's a block. Samurai is one of the people that will fight you in V-trigger. That's wild to me. The EX fireball just a little too late on the dash to get through, and he still gets
Demon
clipped.
flip again. Nice anti-air back throw from Punk. Now he's going to be reset the situation. Fireball activation.
Tries to get Punk to hit a button on the way in. He says no. The life lead is in favor of Samurai.
I like him switching it up too. Jump fierces, jump normals. No air fireballs yet.
He didn't press the button. Take my throw.
EX. Oh, EX.
Low forward. EX take no. EX shoulder to get the round. Great confirm. Excellent usage of meter there from Punk. He's spending it.
I don't blame him. He's
Take
better.
that round, baby.
Samurai still has 1 bar heading into round 2, game number 2. That first round, going back to Punk. He definitely had to slow it down, though. Started off with a forward hard punch from Samurai.
Oh.
That didn't work the first game, but it worked this time.
Just a little bit far out. You might expect Punk to throw out Stand Fierce the next time around he sees that demon flip.
Oh, wow, just a little bit out of range of the Stand Fierce that you just called out. Oh. Not gonna spin the Oh, wow, the forward throw.
He's
There's
not
the
gonna
crush.
take it.
Side switch, yep.
A very dangerous situation. He can't take more of those.
He saw it. He knew he was going to get antsy.
CA.
Critical art on deck.
CA.
And he confirmed Punk can do that. Or a whiff punish.
Oh, the sweep. There's
Sweep
the activation.
activation.
Oh, he jumped out. Oh my God, if he would have hit him with that deep.
smart. He's
If he
so
would have hit him
smart.
with that demon, I was gone. If he would have hit him with that demon, I was out of
I
there.
would have thrown the headset up in the air.
Man, watch NCR too much. Thought he was really Tokido. Out of here. Go ahead. Yeah, blow that breath. Go ahead. Samurai, you can't beat me, bro. You can't beat me, Samurai. I gave you the first game.
He gave him the first game. What do you mean? All right, here we go. Standing fierce, 1-1. Stand medium kick, red fireball right behind it. Walk up, stand light kick. Samurai pretty aware of that range. Dash up, tries to go for the strong.
Switching up to the fireballs now from Samurai. Nice check there from Punk after the block. Oh, the whiff punish. And it's so hard to whiff punish. Amazing. Forward throw. Keep him in this corner. Punk's trying to inch his way out. He does have meter.
Oh, gets
yes,
the crush.
Sir.
I like that, yeah. Crush counter sweep, doesn't have to spend a trigger. There it is, there's the activation, keeping him locked down. Samurai gets clipped with a good catch. Here's the counter hit. Tons of damage on the conversion.
Samurai.
One more for stun.
In trouble. Samurai's in a lot of trouble. Fireball, didn't walk into it, getting close though. Sets up the EX to jump back from Punk. Didn't want to deal the air-to-air. In favor still of Samurai. Life just about eaten after a few changes. Trigger still active, full CA available. On both sides, kill range available. Anybody get hit, a clean hit, a combo can definitely kill, especially if CA is involved. 25 seconds left. They
The
dash
delay.
up, they look at each other, the
Another
low
one.
forwards. A quick backdash.
No trigger on the side of Samurai.
Demon flip,
Grab.
Oh my God, the back and forth. Look at Punk, look at Punk.
Round 2. Fight.
Set point for Samurai here. Set point for Samurai. Just walk up, stand, medium kick.
Full meter on the side of Punk. Any sort of conversion off a Tenko, you know he's going to spend it to get that corner carry. That's if he can land the hit on Samurai. He's been so stationary and solid with his movements. He hasn't
The
found a solid
forward
opening
throw.
in this crown game yet.
Blocked.
Look at that. He's been holding on to this bar since 99 seconds, Steve.
99 seconds of the last round.
Oh, damn. Bars. Actual bars. But there he goes. Yeah, spending it for the damage.
Oh,
he
made
knew.
him swing. Oh, that's going to be it.
EX. Cashing it out.
Final round between these two, Punk versus Samurai.
Look at the match, Steve. We got 2 bars on the side of Samurai. A lot of resources to be had in this final match. Punk actually missing a low forward to firm. He gets the fierce instead, gets the corner, a ton of damage.
Oh, the EX worked out exactly how it did in the first game.
The roundhouse clipping.
Oh, the
Another.
anti-EX. Oh, EX this time. He was looking for the back throw. Go show you that's a
Forward
forward
throw.
throw.
A nice break there from Punk, trying to fight out of this corner, walk his way out. Samurai caught him with a low forward fireball, another check.
Life slightly in favor of Samurai at this point. The great
V
life
reversal,
though, adding
a
up.
ton of it.
Double V reversal. Ooh, the slide. You bet not
Back
check
throw,
it.
he cashed it out.
30% just off of a back throw because of all that great life. Samurai in trouble. Samurai in a bunch of trouble, but he has a lot of trigger left. Not any meter though.
Oh, no punish on the EX Tenko. He checked him. That's a demon flip palm. My side, Steve. You're splitting my side. One more hit. He got him. He got him. He got
Samurai.
him. He got him.
Samurai completes it.
He got him.
Full
With
team OCV. They set
He
it
has
up.
himself
Look at
in
that
OCV
man.
position. He has to fight JP. He has to fight JP.
But he has to fight JP. Damn. Damn. I'm pretty sure he knows. He sat back down. Samurai knows. Samurai knows the job isn't done. Samurai knows the job isn't done.
What's going on, everybody? Vicious here with a quick update in regards to what's going on with Street Fighter League Season 3 and its current roster. Before I get into it, I hope you guys have been doing well during these trying times and have been doing your best to keep yourselves safe as well as your loved ones. For those that may or may not know, NuckleDu announced his retirement from Street Fighter V July 6th of 2020. Since then, we've reached out to him privately, and thankfully, NuckleDu has decided to continue competing for Street Fighter League Season 3 alongside Team Dynamite. From the bottom of our hearts, we're so grateful that he's safe and healthy. We're grateful that he's taking the time out to be a part of Street Fighter League once again. As we all know, it couldn't be the same without him. We thank you for giving us some of our favorite memories of Street Fighter. And of course, we thank you for being part of the fighting game community. Without further ado, we hope you guys enjoy this season of Street Fighter League, because as we all know, it's only getting better. And for now, we'll see you guys at the preseason.
Street Fighter League Season 3 begins now, or kind of begins. This is the preseason that we're about to get into. My name is Tasty Steve, and I'm joined by none other than my bald cohort, Vicious. How goes it, sir?
Man, I'm big chillin' as much as I can be, really. You know, it's going to be a pretty exciting Street Fighter League. Again, we only mentioned that this is going to be a pre-show kind of thing. This is going to be the preseason to some of the best Street Fighter V we could ever possibly imagine. So I'm really excited about that. How are you doing, Steve?
I'm doing all right. The world has kind of been on pause for both you and I, and importantly, the FGC. But with recent times, we've kind of pivoted to make sure you guys still get the best Street Fighter League action possible. And we've kind of expanded things. We've changed things, including we've given you a dope preseason to start off.
The schedule as to how it's all going to break down, we have 9 weeks of the preseason. We have 15 weeks of the regular season where we have double round robin action, as well as 1 week of the postseason where we kind of figure out what's going to happen when it comes to the finale of SFL Japan versus SFL the World. That's a big change, by the way. It's again, Steve mentioned it at the top. We have international talent now. I know Capcom made that announcement, made that tweet with the entire roster, which will break down. So you could already expect to see some of the best Street Fighter V in the world.
Yeah, that's the thing about Street Fighter League. It's kind of like become this crazy thing where not only were you worried about these individual tournaments, but Street Fighter League is the premier way to get involved, for you guys to see the best talent in the world. And I mean the world, because now these teams have gone to the next level. Speaking of, let's get right to it. I want to introduce you guys to one of our new expanded teams here for Street Fighter League. Make no mistake, this is some of the best. Make some noise for Team NASR joining the SFL ranks, and their team is composed of some of the most heavy hitters you have seen. We have Bigbird coming out from the Middle East, as well as Angrybird, followed up by none other than Samurai. So let's break down this team just a little bit more. Let's get to the specifics of this. You have Bigbird, one of the best players in the world, coming to Street Fighter League International, like I said before, and he has done nothing but put points on the board, not only on the CPT, but in many other tournaments around the world. Personally, I cannot wait to see what he does here, mixed up with some of this other talent, but he has backup. He has backup in the fact that he has Angrybird right behind him, another Middle East representative who has been holding it down for years on top of years, and we've seen him, of course, sprinkled many tournaments throughout the FGC.
Yeah, again, you have Bigbird and Angrybird, two of the competitors, the top competitors in the world, who have consistently made it into Capcom Cup. But you also have a Street Fighter League veteran in the likes of Samurai.
Exactly.
Again, Bigbird, Angrybird, they got the wings, but Samurai is going to be that catalyst to really make them fly against the rest of the competition.
And of course, I know you guys are wondering how you can tell the difference. Angrybird is the little one, Bigbird is the tall one. It's really all that simple, but I guarantee you, both of them have big boy plays when they're playing some Street Fighter V. Team number 2 on the expansion of Street Fighter League continues here, and it goes to one of my favorite teams out there. UYU joins the Street Fighter League Season 3 with some of the best talent. Once again, it only gets better. We're going to start off with none other than one of the most dangerous threats in Street Fighter V, Oil King, backed up by none other than NL, and right behind that, another UYU alumni member, Kami, will be rounding out the team. My little bro, we already know, one of the swaggiest individuals in the fighting game community, as well as being brought up and put together with UYU. I feel like this is one of those teams that everybody has already seen out there, but they're going to get a chance to see just how strong this team is. Kami on the team as well, NL and Oil King, all very strong competitors. I mean, what do you think, Vicious?
Now, Oil King has been representing his region very well. They have a lot of upcoming talent. We've seen from previous Capcom Pro Tour online tournaments, right? NL has been keeping the grind up as well, especially in the South Korean community. These guys are up-and-comers, but these guys are such strong, talented individuals. And Kami, listen, if you guys don't know who Kami is, you guys really need to pay attention to the tapes, because this guy has trained with the best of the best, not only in just the United States, but on an international level. This man has traveled to almost every premiere as he could, and again, with such swagger too. On top of that, I wouldn't be surprised if Oil King kind of influenced the other two to rock some UYU shorts on the way over to Street Fighter League. But with that said, again, these guys are going to be such a threat. With Team NASR and UYU joining the fray, it's going to be phenomenal.
Well, of course, like I said before, there's still plenty of other teams to talk about with this talent getting better and better. Our next team, Team All In, is composed of, drum roll please, we have iDom, the Capcom Cup champion, returns to Street Fighter League, and this time he's got somebody backing him up. Not only somebody, some international somebody, Phenom right behind him. We've seen Phenom on many a stage. We've seen him on so many stages internationally. He's been one of the strongest names in the tournament scene for quite some time. I mean, we've seen him play against Punk, another one of the SFL League players that has done nothing but put points on the board. And then, of course, 801 Strider to round out the entire team. And when I tell you you're about to get lit up with that G, that's exactly what's about to happen. Another Street Fighter 4 player who's made that transition successfully into Street Fighter 5, coming from that grappler background. I feel like his G, along with that potential Rashid, on top of the fact that we got an Akuma, a Cammy on the other side. There's so many things that you need to think about.
Yeah, to kind of break that down, when you look at the team under a scope, this is going to be one of the hardest teams to possibly counter and engage because you have so many well-versed players. You have iDom, who, again, Capcom Cup champion 2019. Phenom, already a shoo-in into Capcom Cup 2020. He won that tournament for CPTO for the EU region. He's going to be one of the strongest threats. And then 801 Strider with such versatility, really sharpening that G, going back to Laura if he could, if he needs to, as well as practicing that Lucia. Again, if you take a look at the team dynamic, this is one of the hardest teams to even consider a ban for. Even consider what order they're going to play, because they're all heavy hitters. They're all such threats with each and every one of their characters under their belt.
No, that's definitely true. And I mention these other characters because we're getting to that point in Street Fighter League and the lifespan in Street Fighter 5 where you have to have other characters prepared, especially in a high tension situation, either in a tournament or something like Street Fighter League. But I digress. Back to the teams. We have another one for you. Alpha 3, my favorite
best
Street
name,
Fighter.
I think those guys have the best name. One of the best names.
One of the best names and one of the best Street Fighters, if you ask me. But of course, Alpha 3 is led by none other than the Alpha himself, Punk. Then right behind him, CJ Truth, and of course, bringing up the rounds and making sure you don't go too far, we have Nephew joining Team Alpha 3, and when I say that is a team of alphas, that is a team of alphas. We've already seen Punk come to Street Fighter League and do some amazing things, being part of that championship team on Season 1. Of course, CJ Truth made a crazy splash when he joined Street Fighter League, and also another one of those players we've been looking at since the days of Street Fighter 4. Very young, strong, upcoming player, and then young, upcoming Nephew. A lot of people consider him one of the strongest players on the American side, and just in the world, if you consider the fact that he's a Colleen player, he's been leveling up a lot. What are your thoughts about Alpha 3?
So one of the things is, I think they're big cheaters. The reason being is because Punk and Nephew, they've been grinding it out since they've both relocated to California, and these guys, again, have been non-stop when it comes to playing their games. If you guys have been following along with a lot of the FGC streams, you know that Punk has been streaming, Nephew has been streaming, they've put on their own community tournaments together and really grinding it out. And CJ Truth, he's not too far off either. He has some of the most talented players on the East Coast to go up against on a weekly basis. Again, a weekly basis. Again, these guys have been doing nothing but grinding it out just for this very moment, as well as Capcom Cup. These guys are as hungry as ever, and their team dynamic is just absolutely insane. These guys just know how to break down strategies very, very well. We've had some listen-ins from previous tournaments, and again, just the way their mind works, they are such prodigies of Street Fighter, not just Street Fighter 5, but just Street Fighter in general, that I wouldn't doubt that they would excel all the way to the top.
I'm telling you right now, that's only a small piece of what's about to happen, because they have some crazy opponents on the side of Psycho Shinobi, Hot Dog 29, Infexious, speaking of a pandemic, who has been terrorizing the world for a much longer than just recently. And then of course we have another Street Fighter 4 and Evo champion in Xian representing on Psycho Shinobi. Vicious. Talk to me.
The 29th hot dog is always a dangerous one.
It is almost a dangerous.
It's like the threshold of when you're just about to get full, but it's just not quite there yet. You don't know if you take another one. But all jokes aside, Hot Dog is one of the strongest players to come out of his region and really put in the work, especially in 2019. 2018, he was still a little rocky, getting his foundation going with the way the mechanics work in Street Fighter 5. But in 2019, he made that run at the NA qualifiers and really put on quite the show. He almost got top 8 over at Capcom Cup last year. So without a doubt, he's going to be one of the biggest threats on this team. But Infexious, yo, this guy is a Zeku professional. So the thing about Infexious is that he really started to get his grounds in 2018 as well, found his own rhythm with Zeku in 2019, and had a phenomenal performance over at Red Bull Kumite, where he really showed what he's about. And with the amount of time since then up until now, without a doubt, he's going to be coming back as strong as ever. And again, we have Xian, who just performed not too long ago with the CPTO over in the Southeast Asia region, just getting about like what, 5th place if I'm not mistaken. So he has been really grinding it out, and he has TO powers. He's helping organize all these bad boys.
True.
So not only is he competing, but he is scouting out every single one of these players, no matter what. So I really enjoy the team synergy here with Hot Dog, Infexious, and Xian. This is definitely going to be one of the teams to really look at, and I think it's one of my personal favorites.
And last but not least, our final team joining Street Fighter League will be Team Dynamite. And yes, it is about to go boom because Problem X is the captain. Another Evo champion joins the fray for this international competition. But you don't only get one champion, you get 2 champions. NuckleDu returns to Street Fighter League, and he will be backing up Problem X, a Capcom Cup champion, in NuckleDu. A new father NuckleDu on top of that. I call him Daddy Dudang now. He's like Ken Master. He's got something to lose in the world of Street Fighter. But you're gonna need proper leaders, proper management. You need that experience. None other than the mayor himself. Stuffing it out, Smug joins and returns to Street Fighter League for Team Dynamite. And man, Vicious, please tell me, now that we have an eye on all of these teams, we have the Middle East representation, we have the EU representation, we have Asia representation. What makes you feel like this isn't going to be some of the best Street Fighter? I mean, thinking about the fact that they're going to go up against Japan. Do you feel like these teams are something that's going to be able to stop the talent that's coming out of Japan in the world of Street Fighter, Vicious? Be honest, don't lie. The world is watching. They want to know.
So we have these 6 extremely stacked teams through and through. Without a doubt in my mind, I think if any of these teams, like no matter what, whoever steps on that stage against Team Japan, they're absolutely going to go toe-to-toe with them, because it's such a wide talent of Street Fighter V players. You're on an international level now, and these are some of the cats that have traveled to each and every one of these premieres and have had experience with some of the players on Street Fighter League. So I'm kind of more concerned with some of the new cats they might have for Street Fighter League Japan, who have not been able to travel to all those premieres and have that veteran experience. So it's going to be quite an interesting dynamic to see how the world goes up against Japan.
But now let's talk about the fact that we have all these players, right? We have all these players, we have all these different regions. How do you approach the ban now? Because you touched on it a little bit, right? You have people that now, because of the lifespan of Street Fighter V, right? Everybody has multiple characters. We had earlier seasons where iDom didn't get a chance to play. We had seasons where, JB not having backup characters really did come back to hurt the team. It kind of fixed itself in season 2 because people got a lot more experienced, a lot more educated, was able to play some of these mirror matches. How would you approach this ban right now, Vicious?
The thing about the ban rule now is it's a lot harder to really implement due to the fact that the evolution of Street Fighter and its meta has really come down to being able to counterpick your opponent, or at least having a backup character to play some of your rougher matches, essentially. So it's kind of hard seeing the talent that we have. These players all have backup characters. If not one, they have plenty. They have so many matches they can go through with their main, their secondary, their tertiary, whatever, right? It's kind of hard to even consider the bans, as well as even trying to lock down that player in that matchup too, because in the rules, you still have to organize your team before you guys even face off against each other. It's going to be player order that's going to be very, very important, more so than the ban, I feel like, this time around. But either way, there are only like a certain amount of teams that are really going to be affected by the ban, but who knows, maybe they'll pull out a secondary character that we haven't seen, because again, there hasn't been too many events to really keep these guys in check. So that's what makes it even more exciting. I want to see some of the cats that are like you know, I'm only like a Bison specialist. I do have like a secondary character I was kind of messing around with. I want to see where they're at when it comes to Street Fighter League Season 3.
I know for a fact that these guys are all aware of those players and they're already scouting to make sure that they have a pick or they're prepared with at least their main pick to, you know, kind of fight them out. So.
Right. So we do have the preseason up and ready for you guys today. Again, Street Fighter League Season 3 is going to be happening later on in the year. In the meantime, we have quite the exhibition with the roster, as well as a few known players from around the world. We're still keeping it international.
So each week we will be having marquee matches, an undercard and a main event to decide these players' future involvement in Street Fighter League seasons of the future. So I feel like why not? Why not give you guys that little added extra bonus? That way, you know, even if you don't look at tournaments, you could just watch Street Fighter League and get all the homework you need for future iterations. So I personally feel like we're doing you a favor. No need to thank us, but you better be here every week. That's all I'm saying. Now, for the record, each match will be best of 7. That means they have to win 4 matches in total to claim victory under the set. And today's schedule goes as follows, just for you guys at home. And please, please, please get your snacks. You don't want to miss any of this.
Absolutely.
Me and Vicious will be giving you the words. First match today, the undercard. One of the SoCal showdowns, I like to say. Commander Jesse will be going up against none other than Alex Myers. And that's going to be our undercard for today.
That's an undercard match, by the way. That's actually ridiculous.
The main event for tonight and these preseason exhibition matches will go as follows. We have newly signed NASR Samurai will be going up against none other than Alpha 3's Nephew. That will be the main event for tonight, and there's a lot of history to these matches. I mean, personally, I feel like if you look at what Samurai has accomplished not only in Street Fighter League, but just his pedigree, what he's done from the beginning to right now in Street Fighter 5, it's definitely a journey. From a Ryu to a Akuma, you know, it's really just things that you need to pay attention to, because I feel like if you're not looking at where he came from, it's going to be that much harder to beat a player like Samurai. But Nephew, another one of the young guns returning, you know, like that, I feel like you have to pay attention to. You've seen him in so many different brackets. You've seen him play these amazing games, especially with players like Punk, who considers him one of the best players of not only Colleen, but just in the country for Street Fighter 5.
Man, I'm gonna sound like a broken record. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. All these matches are gonna be super hard to call out. It really is, just because of the character diversity that these guys have now, and just how much they've leveled up over these last couple of months, right?
These matches definitely set the tone for what Street Fighter League has to offer coming forward, and personally I feel like it's a great way to set up these matches and the forthcoming season. So I'm amazingly hyped right now to get into it, and I know you guys are now. And now that you know the tale of the tape, the breakdown for the preseason week 1, make sure you go get snacks, take a bathroom break, because when we return, we're gonna get into our first match of the day. Our undercard match is gonna be Commander Jesse versus Alex Myers right after this.
My unveiling. I will be exposed to the entire world. When the time of the prophecy comes, when all is revealed, then the people of the world will rejoice, already knowing who I am. Call me Lord and Emperor. God's will. Time to return to harmony. Seraphic My perfection does not require any training.
I'll take you downtown. That's how you start the fight and finish it quickly.
Let's have some fun.
Let me zap you. Here we go. That's that.
Terrific wing!
Welcome back, Street Fighter League Season 3. We're going to get back into it. I didn't know what you were doing over there. It definitely threw me off. But one of our preseason undercard matches, an exhibition for you guys at home. We're going to have Commander Jesse versus Alex Myers is one of our exhibition matches. I feel like Commander Jesse versus Alex Myers is going to be an amazing set, and we've talked about them enough. Vicious has talked about them. I have talked about them. Let's get some words from the competitors themselves. Here is Commander Jesse.
Street Fighter League Season 3 looks definitely interesting. I mean, you got a lot of really strong players now. A lot of top players from a lot of different areas of the world. I mean, Europe has a really strong scene. Obviously, North America, first and second place in Capcom Cup, both here in the United States, iDom and Punk respectively. So I think it's going to shape up to be pretty exciting. I think a lot of people are going to be interested in some of the results. I think there's some teams that are made for just chaos. You have that one team, Gustavo's team, 801 Strider's team, which just looks insane. And I think some of those teams are wild. But I don't know. I'm excited to see what happens and what unfolds. But it looks really. So today, I guess I'm going up against Alex Myers, and should make for an interesting match. He's a really good player. It should be pretty interesting. The last time we went off against each other was at Wednesday Night Fights, and it was a pretty close set. I reset the bracket, and then I ended up winning 3-1 at Grand Finals. I know each time we play, he's labbing, he's working hard to try to improve his play, so we'll see how it goes. I mean, it's an interesting matchup, Dawson Kane. The strategy is just maybe to continue to play the way I've been playing. I feel like I've been playing pretty well as of late, but I have been switching through characters. So I haven't been playing as much Dawson lately, but I think that it's all still there and fresh in my mind. So I'm hoping to continue that play. And if I need to switch, then maybe I'll switch.
Commander Jesse, man, one of the strongest players I personally feel like in SoCal. Like I said, I'm a transplant, but I've always been a fan. I'm interested to see, will it be the Dawson? I feel like that's one of his strongest players. What about you?
You know, I wouldn't doubt it. I think having Dawson straight up to kind of gauge where Alex Myers is at and kind of see who he would want to play afterwards if they decide to change it up. Because again, it is best of 7, first to 4. So without a doubt, I think Jesse's gameplay would be to come out swinging for the most part. And it makes sense because he still has some backup characters that would be just as strong. He does have a very, very viable G on the table. But without a doubt, I think one of those guys like Jesse, I've talked about his work ethic before. His time in the lab is so effective. His time in scouting out and studying players is absolutely ridiculous. He's one of those guys that gets beat up from time to time, but really learns the lessons and really applies them into the next match. He's like a Saiyan. He's growing every single time. And you know, without a doubt, I think Myers is going to have a pretty tall order, not physically, but you know, in the world of Street Fighter as well, because Jesse's a pretty huge guy. I'm just saying, he's a giant.
Well, with that being said, I would love to hear Alex Myers' take on it. Let's get some words from Alex Myers.
Later today, Nephew is going to play Samurai. Samurai is like my training partner. We play a lot. I understand his play style like better than anyone. Very, very solid, but likes to put in a little more aggression when he has the lead. I feel like he doesn't overextend early on, but he'll take that extra risk when he knows he has you conditioned and when he knows he has a life lead. He's very good at balancing out of the aggression with the slowness that he's known for. Me and Nephew have played quite a bit too. I think his playstyle is very solid. He tries to kind of emulate Punk a bit, I feel. Like Punk is his roommate for the time being. They live together in NorCal. And I feel like Nephew tries to play very solid, very hit confirm based like Punk, but has his own bit of Nephew flair. Like he likes to be a little bit aggressive at times, and he's really good with his setups. So I think Nephew is like a good blend of his own and Punk. My opponent is Jesse today. What do I think of Jesse? I really like Jesse. We're good friends. Me and him are a bit of rivals, I would say, because ever since I moved back to LA, so we have this local about 15 minutes away. It would usually be like me and Jesse in grand finals every time. We go back and forth, but now we're playing online, and I feel like whenever I play Jesse online, he kind of stomps me. So I had to really focus on designing a game plan for online Jesse, because I feel like online Jesse is a bit more aggro. He's a bit more like carefree with his risk than he is offline. I feel like offline he's more like what I'm used to Jesse. So I'm trying to get used to this online Commander Jesse. Like I said, me and Jesse are rivals, and like as rivals, we constantly want to beat each other. And I want to prove that I think I'm the best in SoCal. So I want to prove that I'm the best in SoCal right now.
Alex Myers, another class act. I've already given you kind of my experience with him, but we've talked about the fact that these guys are both SoCal players, and you even mentioned that they played each other a lot. Like, what was that like?
So we do kind of like leave out some of the details just so we can break it down even further. Now, Alex Myers and Jesse, since Alex moved back, he's a lot more into like the Valley area, which is exactly where Jesse is from, and they actually have a brand new local, the 818 local, over at Worlds Collide. These guys played it out every single week and have met each other in the top 8 stages day in and day out. Honestly, these guys have such an ongoing record. I can't even tell who's in the lead. It's that close. And it's been kind of a coin toss as to who would take it, no matter what the character. And that's what's really scary about Alex Myers, is that he's just as effective with other characters as he is with Cammy, mostly Chun-Li, because as soon as he saw those changes, man, he jumped ship so quick. He's like, you know what, I'm gonna give this a shot. But I don't even know if that's gonna be the character of choice. I'm pretty sure he's gonna stick with his tried and true Cammy, specifically in this matchup, as it is way more advantageous, but who knows?
All right, well, here we go. We're getting into it. Commander Jesse going up against Alex Myers, and it's going to be Cammy versus Dawson. I was thinking we're going to see the Chun-Li, but that air trajectory, the fact that those dive kicks are really going to be able to change up that air, but I feel like you have the same option with Chun-Li, but I guess we're about to find out. Once again, this is best of 7. You need 4 games to get the W. We're about to get into it.
I do have to say, the outfits are on point.
Oh, yeah.
Myers definitely has the right choice of outfits. Commander Jesse, this specific color scheme, it blends well with the Shadaloo base.
I was actually about to say, that's kind of cheap.
They know what they're doing. They know what they're here for.
Oh, wow.
Oh my God!
Okay, all right.
Swinging.
Don't let it fool you. We're online, but you'll definitely get whip punished and ready with the instant DP.
Dear God.
But this
He's just shutting him down. Okay, this is where it all changes, right? Commander Jesse with the corner positioning. No, Myers chases him down. He thought he was gonna breathe. No, sir, keep the mask on.
That's one of the things that I've noticed from Commander Jesse, that he's gotten so much better at. Getting control of that corner and getting out of the corner when he needs to. A lot of times he'll fight in that corner. Speaking of, there's a throw to get a little closer.
Oh no! I don't want to watch this anymore.
That's ridiculous. The first match, let me in. That's the round. Wow.
How did he know? How did he know he was going to be there?
Man,
That's ridiculous. He's like, you know what? I'm going to change sides just so I can avoid this corner. Nah, you weren't cleared for takeoff. Get out of here. My God.
Bro, yeah, he definitely was not clear for takeoff. He brought him right back down.
He grabbed him by the beard. He grabbed him by the beard and spun him down.
Yo, the call out to the ST with the air throw from Cammy, though, I dig it. Oh wow, the whip punish.
And there was a buffer behind it. The 2-in-1 special, only available at Street Fighter League.
Yeah, that standing heavy punch just to get the buffer on top of it as well.
Oh, no.
Counter hit. You're going to hold this corner.
But wait, there's more.
Stays outside the corner, stand light kick to keep that pressure.
Backing away. He knows the pressure's kind of off, so he's going to wait for Commander Jesse to make his move. He does have the life lead, so he's playing it well. The critical arc can also lead to a ton of damage, but we'll see how Commander Jesse reacts.
And you can tell right now that Myers is playing back a little further because he wants to make sure he's not ready for that air entry. Those normals from Dawson can definitely be a problem. Let him cook.
Did you see that?
Let him
asked for the
cook.
original recipe, but got extra crispy. Plus frames.
Back
okay,
throw.
delayed back throw. Still within range. Stand
right
short.
kick. I really love the fact that Alex Myers is just going for more tick throws than anything. Versus Dawson, you're very reluctant to go to the air because he can control so much of that ground so fast. On top of that, he can teleport to get out of the corner. Myers completely aware, keeps it with the normals, the stand light, the jabs, the tick throws, makes the gameplay go a lot smoother on his side.
That was absolutely ridiculous. His control over the maneuvers that Jesse presented, the options that Jesse had in terms of changing out the corner, in terms of trying to keep him contained in the air, all of it was null and void in that game. Now I'm kind of curious as to whether or not Jesse sticks to the ground game a lot more, is a lot more active with his normals within a certain range, or is he going to try the same strategy again? Again, we don't know how it's going to play out. Jesse still has a lot to really show Myers. He's one of those guys that's like, okay, this is how I lost. This is how I need to adapt. How much more information do I need to make the plays, right? But Myers dominating game one, absolutely ridiculous. He called the shots and he made it. He just absolutely demolished whatever Jesse wanted to do on a movement basis, right? In terms of the normal placements, where he was going, his reads were all there.
Dang, he was the GPS. He knew exactly where he was going and how he was going to get there. Game two.
He even told him too.
Right. Make a jump here. Air throw. Now, what the?
And even if it's not an air, oh no!
He's so ready. And this is exactly what I'm talking about. Using these normals, not overcommitting too much, but keeping the frames on his side. A bunch of medium punches just to keep that pressure on Dawson, make him not comfortable teleporting.
I do like the interrupts from Commander Jesse though. Just at range to start off with the stand short, have Myers deterred from moving forward, but he's stuck in this corner. You see that? That's a great option. So Myers actually did it the last time Commander Jesse teleported to the other side and got that air throw. However, the fact that it missed doesn't even matter. He's still safe. He's still okay to approach because he still has that life feed. He's giving up a little bit of a state so long as Dawson's in the corner. But this is a dangerous situation. Avoid it completely.
Puts back in the fire. Spins the meter to get the deal sealed. That's going to be round number one, game number two, Alex Myers. No, you're definitely talking about this 100% correct. The whiff punish early on the limbs means that Commander Jesse's going to be a lot more reluctant to throw out buttons because he knows that Alex Myers is wide awake at the wheel.
Is this online?
This is definitely online. I can tell by the ranks, bro. That was a whiff punish.
Are they playing in the same house? Because this is absolutely ridiculous. The reaction times on Myers has not slowed down one bit. I feel like maybe in net play gives him a little bit more time.
Look, all I'm saying is that he knows exactly how to slow down Commander Jesse. Dawson, definitely not typically a fast-paced character, and this is going to be trouble only because how do you keep this character away from you once she gets in? What about the resets? Don't get caught in the corner, bro. Here we go. V-trigger activation. Gonna keep that corner in control. This is one of the strengths of Commander Jesse. He's so good at sauteing, just letting it simmer a little bit more before you take it out of there and consume it, before you take the round.
And he does have critical art on deck, so he can spend it for EX Yoga Fire to really get the pressure.
Oh my God.
But he barely missed. He actually got the Yoga Fire to connect. You could see it in Commander Jesse's facial expressions. He tilted his head. He's like, you know what? I had that. Had he slammed down with the fears, he could have let the critical art rock if he needed to. Actually, for a matter, he could have spent 2 bars. He would have killed him anyway.
That's what I'm looking at. And on top, oh man, it was just the fact that I felt like he wasn't ready in some of these situations. Commander Jesse is on the ropes right now, and it's because Cammy is so close, making him have to deal with so much pressure. And now he can't even throw out limbs because Alex Myers is that awake. He's like, even if you're full screen. So if you notice, he had the Yoga Flame right in front of him. The Yoga Fire was right there in front of him. But I felt like it was just a confirmed thing at that point. You had to be careful because one, he was teleporting, so you had to be careful about the cannon drill. So what are your options at that point, you know?
It's kind of hard. I kind of want to see Jesse play a little bit more compact. I know Dawson is not that kind of character to do so, but I feel like he kind of has to tempt Myers with a little bit of forward momentum movement, or just forward movement in general, right? Have these slides to kind of close the gap, threaten with the limbs, because when you see and look back at these matches, Myers really gets started off of the whiff punishes, closes the gap, and really gets his gameplay going. So maybe if Jesse can deter that just a little bit and kind of nitpick at the life before things get heavy, I think he'll be in a great position. See, now he's moving forward a lot more. You see that he's walking and he's dashing up.
Walking. No, you're definitely right. It's more about the pace than anything. And I feel like Commander Jesse might be playing a little too preemptively, trying to play to the strengths of being like, well, you want to be here and you want to be here.
Oh,
another air throw. And you said before, you want to kind of slow down. It's all about control when it's Dawson. He might not be the fastest, but he's all about controlling the pace.
The 3-hitter?
Wow.
The no-quitter 3-hitter. That is
Wow.
a Dawson exclusive. He was up close and personal. He called him on the phone before he engaged. He was like,
look, I'm
I'm
definitely
coming
gonna hit
over.
you with this character-specific combo. I hope you're ready, bucko.
That was not even close to 6 feet apart. That was actually the most ridiculous combo. The 3-piece.
And this is what I was talking about. You have to be careful with those limbs because she's able to change her trajectory. Nice normal right there to stop the anti-air approach. Or that jumping approach, excuse me.
And I like him sensing danger, using the V reversal early at a great time. Now he gets control. Sit him back down too.
3 of those bad boys. You need to clip them and put them on their own highlight reel.
Either that or I think he's an official pilot now. I think he can fly one of those choppers over in the Shinobi base, right? He's clear for takeoff.
Heavy punch, trying to stop the approach, and this is exactly what I was afraid of for Dawson. Teleport back, yeah.
Yo, he converted off and then he threw the alley.
You cannot get away. My boy Alex Myers, 3 games straight. Yeah, take a chug of the water, bro. I don't even blame you. Dude,
That was
Alex
like him
Myers
throwing it off the
wide
backboard
away.
and coming in to slam it.
Now they're playing a game of horse.
Awkward position.
For a TV commercial, off the roof, under the car, and still nothing but net. Come on, man.
That was a ridiculous catch from Alex Myers. He caught Dawson in the air with a V trigger dive kick, clipped him barely, and was like, let me test the winds out. He licks his fingers, he throws some grass up in the air.
Yeah,
He's
he
like,
checked the wind?
I think I got it. I got it. Uppercut.
Got it. The wind's coming in from this way. I'll take care of the rest. This dude, Alex Myers, like you said, this is definitely a scout. This is a long distance scout. You're playing Cammy versus Dawson. You know he's going to want to teleport. You know he's going to want to keep you away. You know he's going to try to anti-air you, stop you from using those dive kicks. And he has seen all of this beforehand. And now the adjustment is on the side of Commander Jesse. What can you do to stop him from getting into these places and enacting his game? This is the last match if Commander Jesse can't make something happen.
Again, to remind you folks at home, this is a first of 4, best of 7. Alex Myers up 3-0. Commanding performance against Commander Jesse. And again, each of these games have been 2 rounds apiece for Myers each and every time.
And look at it. Look at the difference in the pacing. Life's still just about the same, but
again, the 3-piece exclusive. The delayed crouch strong for that counter hit allows her to get that combo even up close.
And the stun gives a little meter on top of it. Oh,
A throw will do it if he needs to.
Guess for your life, good pressure, trying to slide to get that activation, gets the crush counter sweep. Nice counter hit, almost had something big right there. Not able to confirm into the trigger. He's gonna hold the screen. Gonna turn the heat up on the stove just a little bit more. Nice punish. Commander Jesse making something happen right now. Gets the drill, and that's gonna be that. Finally, steals around Commander Jesse. He's like, look at me. I'm the commander, not you. I'm the commander.
That's true. That's the first time we see Myers actually try to stuff out the fireball with EX spiral arrow, barely missing the mark, allowing Commander Jesse to take full advantage of that. But here we go, another similar story. Myers, as soon as he captures Commander in the gulag, right, keeping him in this corner with V-Skill 2. That's right, Steve.
God.
That's right, you knew it was coming.
V-Skill. I just realized he's using V-Skill 2, and that does so much for controlling the neutral. You got to be even more careful sticking out limbs versus Cammy now. That's going to make you second guess your anti-airing at this point. Like I said, it's going to make you second guess your anti-airing at this point. The EX dive kick able to get in, still in control of the corner, big jump in, and that's going to be a round to put Alex Myers on set point. Commander Jesse finally getting something on the board, but you can't slow down Alex Myers, still in control, set point, here we go.
Did he have V-Skill 2 the entire time? I wasn't even looking until he shot it out.
We haven't seen it the entire time because he's only used it that one instance. And her V-Trigger 2, her V-Skill 2 is able to just control that neutral, giving you a hit right in front of you to make you second guess just throwing out neutral control to try to stop that walk-up pressure.
The thing is, the specific nuances with Commander Jesse and as to why V-Skill 2 is so effective is that Commander Jesse likes to delay tech, and that really blows it up. It could counter hit, it could crush counter if anything, and you could extend the combo and still have enough time to dash up for another set of Oki.
Speaking of dashing up, look at the pacing of this match. completely in favor of Commander Jesse. You can tell by the life bars. Full trigger on table.
Oh.
And now you see the adjustments are taking place. A lot more movement, a lot more teleports. Look at the screen positioning. This is epitome Dawson play. This is what Commander Jesse wants. Not that though. Crouching heavy punch activating the V trigger.
Nobody wants that, honestly.
Oh,
Big jump in on the
nothing.
short.
I like the teleport, but still gets clipped. He's still in control though, but he needs to watch that stun bar. Nice
Out of
teleport,
there.
and still gets opened up. Stun is a factor. Commander Jesse with the slide V trigger. Oh, the teleport to get out of there, Commander Jesse. Trying to run this back. He needs his point. Teleport in front,
My
and
God.
the in front snipe. That was the no scope. He didn't even need to aim down sights. My man just hit you with the no scope right in front of him.
All over the screen, he's got the 360.
Right? All over this. That's why he teleports, man. He'd be broken in a first-person shooter. That's why Dawson is not in any other game. He wouldn't be fair. We got more games to play. This is a first of 4.
Hoo-wee, this guy's a cheater. Now, I will emphasize the fact that Jesse, again, a lot more mobile on defense this time around. As soon as he sees Myers take off into the skies, whether it's a normal or a dive kick, he's sliding out of there. It doesn't matter. He's like, you know what? I may not be able to engage, but that's not my sole purpose. My sole purpose is to irritate you with these hit and run strategies, and it worked to a T in that last game.
Yo, you're definitely telling the truth. Commander Jesse staying alive. I think he heard us about, future Street Fighter League season incentives on the line. I feel like Jesse knows that there's a lot more that's on the line here than just the W, just the pride, just the more than just, the local tournament, clout on the line right now. 3-1 in favor of Alex Myers. What is Commander Jesse going to do now?
Hopefully give us more Street Fighter.
Let me get some more matches,
I don't want to
bro.
blow out.
This is the first one. This is the undercard match. Let me see it.
I feel like this is the main event.
Oh,
should
look, it's been the main event before, so it's no surprise. Rightfully so, if you ask me.
The normal placement, the decisions as to what normals to choose so far has been really
the stasis.
Really changing.
Get
up
away
against
from
Myers.
me. Oh, punish. Slide to get the knockdown. Look at the stun bar on the side of Cammy. You got to be careful of that air entry.
Uh-oh. Back into the corner. Immediate teleport out from Commander Jesse. No reluctancies there. No hesitant movement from Jesse. It's all deliberate.
The delays are actually killing Alex Myers right now. I feel like the holding back is definitely what's getting Commander Jesse every one of these miles that he's got right now. Good pressure. The teleports. I like that. Now he's noticing, right? Like if you do jump forward, teleporting further behind him is actually going to work out in your favor because he's going to keep that trajectory, goes forward, gets him out of trouble, and he keeps the pace.
A little bit higher off the top for that drill kick, allowing Myers to get started and capitalize on that mistake. Close to stun. Nice break there for Commander Jesse. EX Gale in the air, but again, Myers is tracking him down.
And I like the fact that he's using Air Gale, using these slides to throw off the entry from the air from Alex Myers. But the life deficit is not looking too good for Commander Jesse, going for the instant overhead. And this is once again set point. Commander Jesse is on the ropes.
Instant jump light kick. The 50-50 on top of the 50-50. Is it going to be a low? Is it going to throw? No go. It's going to be...
Ooh, bars. Lots of meter on the side of Commander Jesse. I like the teleport game guess. There's a throw. Commander Jesse open up that gameplay right now and look at him. Lots of corner control, holding up, actually saving for that V-trigger activation. I can tell you another thing. Alex Myers is one of the best at controlling and using his V-trigger. One of the best at utilizing it, if you ask me. He will not spin it all, and sometimes he will. But look at it, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Holding on to the V-trigger just in case. He wants to cash out. And now he has full CA.
Oh, he's gonna get it. No, he dropped it.
No, this isn't good. Another drop combo by Commander Jesse, letting him cook that.
Block on the overhead and the punishment.
Oh my God, going for the heavy snipe is gonna seal the deal. And Commander Jesse knew what was on the line when he did that. I'm not sure what he was looking for, but that snipe was basically a death sentence. That floating mechanic of it is really what gets him in trouble.
If you didn't pick me up at WNF that one week, I wouldn't have gotten so much. I went back. I watched the tapes.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff.
Thank you.
For sure, dude.
I'm not gonna let any other Dawson beat me, Jesse. Don't you worry. I run into Mochi. My HC Mochi? Who is this? Who is this?
I hope so. I hope so.
Wow.
That's hard. Like, to be on the receiving end of that, it's just like, I appreciate what you're saying, but man, come on.
Come on, man. Get off my screen, bro. We online. I ain't got to look at you no more. And you still talking to me, man? Look, we friends. Get out of here, bro. You just beat me up. But this is one of the things that we touched on earlier. It was the fact that these guys have played each other before at a main event, as a main event, because it was grand finals. So they have more than enough experience. Alex Myers hinting at that the minute he gets the W. He says, man, if you didn't beat me up at Wednesday Night Fights all those times, I would not have known what to do. And this is part of the matchup that we were talking about. You're going to need that experience. So I feel like it's really smart that, you know, going to the Cammy, keeping control of the ground, and making Commander Jesse stay on his toes by making the pace stay faster than he's used to.
No, absolutely. The way that he capitalized on Commander Jesse's movement was how it should be played. That's the kind of patience you would need. As soon as you get that opening, then you utilize Cammy to her full extent. You close the gap, really punish with these close range normals, keeping it plus through and through, and catching some of the nuances of the player. Again, he studied the matchup on paper, then he studied the player as much as he could. He really took advantage of the kind of habits that Jesse has when it comes to wanting to teleport out of the corner, stay as mobile as possible to get far away, get out of the corner, what have you. And even the late teching that Commander Jesse does that is really, really strong for his defense, absolutely blown up in the likes of Cammy's V-skill too. Phenomenal play, phenomenal studying from Alex Myers. Really looking forward to seeing what he has to present if and, you know, when he gets to perform in the CPT.
Well, look, personally, great undercard match to start these exhibition matches. Alex Myers will be the winner here for this first match, and I believe we have words from the winner. Let's take a listen.
I was really focused on like keeping an even tempo and not like overexerting myself, because that's what Jesse wants. Jesse wants you to like overextend. He wants you to make a lot of mistakes, and that's how he used to beat me a lot before. But I was telling Jesse, like, after we played that, like I studied the tapes. He beat me at a WNF recently. I was in winner's bracket, and it just was like deja vu. It was grand finals winner's bracket. He beat me like 6-3 or something. It was horrible. I was like, not again, Jesse. So I studied the tapes. I made sure I knew how Jesse was kind of exploiting me, and I made sure not to overextend in those areas. And honestly, when I was going through the tapes and studying Jesse, I didn't really appreciate the answers he had before. I would be like, oh, this guy's just being random. What is he doing? This and that. But like, Jesse's really smart. Like, Jesse's like figuring out these answers that no other Dawson ever presented to me to nullify my pressure, to really get under my skin. That's what makes him really unique. And once I kind of had an answer to, like, for instance, like I was doing jump back air throw a lot. I hit him like, I think 4 to 5 times. I hit him like every time with jump back air throw. That was something I knew Jesse knew to do against me to exploit normal offense that I usually do. So I really kept in mind not to overextend in those situations, kind of just take my time in the neutral game. Like before, I would be like more rushed. I just want to get in. But that's what Jesse wants. Jesse plays a style where he's floating a lot in the air to just kind of like mess with Cammy's spacing. He doesn't want to be on the ground too much when he feels you're going to EX dive kick, when he feels you're going to do like random heavy drills and stuff. So I made sure to just take my time in neutral, react and respond accordingly. And without Jesse's experience before, like say I was just playing Jesse right now off the bat, probably would have gotten smoked. So definitely a very, very strong competitor, and I'm glad to call him my rival.
Alex Myers, class act. You can tell he did his homework, showed in the gameplay, that interview highlighting a little bit of his mindset going forward. How do you feel so far? You know, how does the temperature stack up so far after this first undercard match?
Give him a 1st to 10, I feel like it'd be so close. It would be completely unpredictable because, again, Jesse was starting to get acclimated with what the situation was, really starting to show that adaptation. And Myers, again, sometimes he gets a little flustered. He likes to play a certain way, and once that gets shut down, he kind of gets a little impatient. But that wasn't the case here. 1st to 4, complete shutout.
Wait a minute. Isn't Alex Myers your co-host? Why are you going? Why?
You know how I know all about this? It's because he's my co-host that I know what gets under his skin. I know everything about Alex Myers. Okay?
Wow! That's the reason why I say it. Vicious. The super villain using his powers for evil, and you guys should use your powers for good. And your powers is we're about to take a break. Use those powers to go get yourself a snack, maybe a beverage, and when we return, we're going to that main event. It's gonna happen right after this. Stay tuned.
Parameter device expansion completed. Pseudo-personality asset is imported properly. Biological brain connected. Dawn unit 0. Startup sequence to begin.
Well now, little piece of junk. Time to wake up.
Dawn unit 0. Activated.
Well, Jody, who is a piece of junk?
Installed.
Show me something worth taking. Your data is now useless. Witness the power of the content engine. This is the power of the king! Your data will reside in me for eternity.
First undercard match already done here as we return to Street Fighter League. This is the preseason, ladies and gentlemen. I am Tasty Steve. This is my friend Vicious, and we have another match for you guys. This is the main event. We've already kind of touched on some of these players that are involved, but today you're going to get NASR Samurai going up against none other than Nephew, one of the members of Team Alpha 3. What are some of your thoughts going in right now?
1, Alpha 3 is a sick name. 2, this is going to be quite the matchup to who actually wore the Team Frost jersey better. Again, we have Samurai, Mr. OCV himself, Bald Eagle 1, coming back with such a strong team, and it's such a strong prospect for Team NASR, honestly, picking up a guy like Samurai.
It's so smart.
So well-rounded too. So this is going to be kind of complicated. Samurai coming in with Akuma, Nephew coming in with a very, very strong Colleen. These are their tried and true. This is going to be only a preview of what's potentially to come in Street Fighter League Season 3, and it's completely unpredictable. And we're going to say this numerous times. Get used to us saying this, because Samurai and Nephew have pretty much gone like neck and neck when it comes to their local scenes. I know they've played at Wednesday Night Fight Oakland. They've played online numerous amount of times in the same kind of community tournaments, and I wouldn't doubt that they've run into each other in ranked.
Oh, yeah.
Now, the thing is though, I feel like when it comes to like the counter picking, which we might have to see, it's going to be way more in the benefit of Nephew, because he's been practicing other characters like G, outside of Colleen. So it's kind of tough, right? But off the bat, if you can't stop Samurai, it's going to be lights out. He's just one of those momentum heavy characters. He's so solid with his reads in general, right? He's such a read heavy player, and he does it. I feel like he's like a psychic. In terms of how he plays, he knows exactly what you want to do, what the situation is, and how exactly he's going to counter it. Sometimes he throws out the most unorthodox things, and it works out in his favor. It's actually ridiculous.
Some people see that, like some people see it as like, man, why would you do that? And Samurai knows why he did that. And for a few words before we get into this next main card event, the main event, excuse me, we're going to talk to Samurai.
In Season 1, I was with iDom and Classical on Team Storm.
I told you, Steve. I told you it was going to be the critical art.
He is dead. Oh, wow. The run back.
I was also on Street Fighter League Season 2 with Sherry Genix and Bill Kevin for Team Frost.
Bazooka. Definitely working out. Oh, okay, that was so smart because he actually
runs into it. He jumped back.
And that's gonna be there.
There wasn't really any big differences in both seasons. It's just the teammates. And the season I'm representing Team NASR with the Birds, Angrybird, and Bigbird. So I'm really excited to compete with those guys. I'm really excited to see the synergy that we have and to really get ourselves, psyched up to play the team. Me and Nephew are Street Fighter League veterans. Nephew is a great player. He's shown time and time again that he can put a nail in the coffin and beat me or beat anybody. You can't count him out. He's gonna come back stronger and stronger every single time. He's a great training partner. I'm just excited to compete against him. Strategy today to beat Nephew is to not get crush countered. That's all. Don't get crush countered.
Samurai, a very, very astute, a studied player, like you said before, challenges every instant because he has the knowledge to do so. I love the fact that he's one of those collected players, likes to meditate, jog in place, very Tokido-esque.
Yes.
We talked about this. Punk actually made a reference to it, believe it or not. But that's only one half of our main event. Our next opponent, Samurai's opponent, will be none other than Nephew. Let's see what he has to say about his upcoming match.
Yeah, so I was a part of Season 1 of Street Fighter League. I was the captain of Team Frost, and I ended up choosing Dual Kevin and Up to Snuff as my teammates. And I think we were a pretty solid team, very well-rounded. I think in Season 1, there was a little bit of pressure as a captain to figure out the team bans, team orders, and figure out how to give advice to our players in between each game. It was something that I kind of struggled with in the beginning, I think, but as the season went on, I got better with it. This season, I am on Team Alpha 3. Punk is my captain, and I am also teammates with CJ Truth. I'm really excited because I feel like our team is really strong. Today, I am playing against Samurai. He's a very solid player, pretty calculated. We're kind of Street Fighter League veterans at this point. And we've actually both been on Team Frost in different times. But despite all of that, I am going to kick Samurai's butt in this first 2-4 today. So Samurai, if you're watching, your butt is getting kicked.
Nephew, once again, another one of those players, we always have to talk about him. If he's in your bracket, we have to talk about him. If he's on your stream, we have to talk about him. Street Fighter League Season 3 is no different. I feel like Samurai has already done more than enough work in Street Fighter League to kind of make sure you know who he is. Nephew, on the other hand, I feel like he's the younger of the two, one. Also, I feel like he's done so much outside of just Street Fighter League for him to get more than enough respect. So I am super interested to see what's about to happen in his next match now.
He's one of those cats that gets a lot of street cred from a lot of the players in the country. I think it's going to be even more surprising to see how the international players face off against him once Street Fighter League comes around, right? I'm actually kind of, really excited for the likes of Nephew to kind of show what he's about on such a big scale.
Oh yeah.
This Colleen has been sharpened since the beginning, right? He's known this character's ins and outs, and he knows how to calculate the matchups to benefit him as much as possible. He's done a ton of breakdowns on his YouTube channel and has broken down to the science and the numbers behind their decision making. He's like, if he throws a fireball here, what are the chances he's gonna throw it again? And what are the chances he's gonna go for something else? It's actually kind of ridiculous to watch that he could break it down to numbers as to what the odds are. So it's gonna be very interesting to see. Samurai versus Nephew is gonna be game one. Here we go.
Yeah, Nephew is definitely a guy who controls the neutral so well, especially once that trigger 2 gets active. His tick throw game is so strong. Also, you have to remember, Samurai's not gonna let you just walk up and hit buttons. We've seen Samurai do a full screen walk just to get a throw for a KO. So I know that this neutral game is gonna be a major part of this.
There's gonna be a lot of heavy buttons hitting on both sides.
Side
Colleen gets a ton of mileage off that stand fierce, but here comes Samurai. Gets a ton of mileage off of everything, really, because it's a Kuma. So many options. There's that crush counter ringing, and off the V trigger too, you can get a lot of options for Nephew. But he's gonna play it cool. He's gonna just chill out for a little bit and not be overzealous with the movement. Crosscut DP coming from Samurai.
And look at that, just ready, just wait. And this is that tick throw, that's exactly what I'm talking about. This is one of the major parts of Nephew's game. The tick throw, am I gonna get hit here? Do I take the throw? You're best to take the throw. Because if he gets in and starts hitting you with these mix-ups, you're going to be in trouble. But he also still has V skill 2, which you have to be prepared for.
That's right, he has a command grab. Oh, that could have been a big punish on the drop, though, from Samurai. Unfortunate. Nephew hanging in there with the punish. 2 back-to-back punishes completely missed.
Man, that was actually super scary right there. That up, I don't like fighting Colleen up that close because all her buttons are so good. Like, I feel like every time she hits me, she's crushing.
Well, that's true because she's fishing with fierce majority of the time, right? Okay, back throw. Checking with the low medium kick. Making sure Samurai stays in place. But that's the thing is, you don't want to be up close against Akuma. More so than against Colleen. Like, in terms of Colleen versus Akuma, who would be the bigger threat up close?
I don't know, man. Akuma's walk speed after a knockdown is actually terrifying. So it's like if he gets a crush, the corner carry and the walk-up pressure that comes from it is something that you need to be afraid of the entire time. I feel like the fact that Colleen is always working towards her V trigger is one of the scariest things. V trigger, V skill 2 on top of that, which means you got to be careful just even in the neutral. And then she still has these great buttons that you have to be wary of when you're fighting this close. So I feel like it could go either way. It just goes to the player at that point, you know? But still, you know that Nephew's aware of it, and you know the Samurai's aware of it from the range that they're playing at. Block fireball, activation on the V trigger.
I like this from Nephew, just backing away, and just in case of the throw, he's gonna take it. He's gonna sit there, not delay tech. He's definitely gonna wait for this trigger to wind down. Samurai looking to close the gap. That's a great call out from Nephew. That could have been an air fireball, and there's one right there, but no more trigger on the table. That is a win for Nephew, and it's all Colleen at this point. V trigger is active, does have all the meter in the world. Another anti-air. Can he close it out? No, he cannot. Instead, Samurai. It's not over yet.
Oh my gosh, 5 seconds left on the clock.
He's chilling.
Like
He's out of it.
I don't even know who has it. Oh my gosh.
I broke something, Steve.
I don't know who, I did not know who had the life lead. I did not know who had the life lead. Samurai with a big smile on his face. Nephew too. Wow, dude. That was the first match.
Oh boy.
Oh my god.
I almost flailed out of my seat. I think I took my mic with me. It'd be like that though.
Oh,
listen,
dude.
that was absolutely close. It came down to who can effectively run down the timer on V-Trigger first.
Yeah, no, that's definitely kind of like, the fact of the matter is that both of them were playing with the fact that fire was fighting fire. They're like, look, both of us have all these tools, but who's gonna hit who first? I'm looking at Nephew. I'm looking at Nephew to break the line and go straight into, full-blown offense mode. But both of them played super respectfully, played back a little bit. That's why that scramble was so important. Small pokes, the wake up, dash forward, low forward, fireball, confirm into CA that did not kill.
I can't believe it. I thought it was over. Honestly, there was such little scaling behind it, but Nephew just had so much life. And Colleen has, I think, average life too, 1,000 health points if I'm not mistaken. That's pretty solid. That little tidbit of information is exactly why Nephew survived. It's because of the amount of life and stamina that Colleen has. It was so close. Here we go, game number 2. Samurai, a lot more liberal with the fireballs this time around, but Nephew, again, he calculates those. He's like, are you gonna throw another one? I'm gonna jump here. Statistically, I should find success, at least 80%.
I'm gonna tell you right now, one of the things we have not seen was that vanity step. Colleen's jumping heavy kick is definitely a problem. Oh, nice, tries to go for the anti-air.
Oh,
Nothing doing. The dive kick to change the trajectory, gets the combo, the air fireball once again, and you still have to be wary. Because at any point in time, if she gets a crush, there's the vanity step finally to make some movement happen. Gets control of the corner. There's the low forward, activating the trigger. Ooh. And one of the things that Nephew is doing is he's not giving up any ground. He's trying his best not to walk back and give Akuma that walking space to get that offense started. Look at him, just goes right back to that range 3 and just walks right back in. Gives him a chance to whip and then goes to the buttons. Nice DP to stop the jump in.
There's a lot of movement from Nephew to kind of anticipate a fireball from Samurai, and he wasn't giving him any of it until the activation of the trigger. Okay, know it, just within that range. Samurai clutching it out, first round of game number 2. Now, I like that patience from Samurai. He was waiting down Nephew. He was walking him down, getting all that estate back because he knew that Nephew was waiting for that fireball. You saw it in the jump. You saw it in the way he was buffering quarter circle back. He was waiting on it.
I like the button challenges. Okay, sets up the hill. There's a tick throw game once again.
Oh,
and he knows you're going to start swinging because he plays that range so well. Gets the crush counter, not able to make anything happen. Nice confirm with the side switch from Akuma. Samurai in control. There's a forward throw. Double air fireball.
Very neat.
Trying to keep that momentum. Gray life getting higher and higher. A lot of seasoning on the bar. Double throw. Stun becoming a factor. Raw activation. Air throw.
The arm bar. Where do you think you're going? Slam him down.
Samurai spins the EX Hell and does the conversion using the vanity step. This dude, Nephew, even Samurai's really back.
Ridiculous.
Even he knows. I was like, wait a minute, what?
Hit him with the hail, that was fire, no icy hot. Nephew.
Bars.
He is
Yo,
clutching
Vicious,
it out
calm
too.
down,
That
bro.
was ridiculous. On that air conversion against Lexus. Oh, how did that hit? What do you mean? Was that his hair? How did that
Yeah, I was about
flip?
to say,
I
man,
don't
that
know
was
anything
the
about
ponytail up on top. That was what hit him.
Okay,
Part of the
makes
DP hitbox, the ponytail.
Gotcha.
I like the back and forth. Oh, the whiff. Online? Online. I'm going to be saying that a lot. Every time I see something sick online, for real, can we check his connection to make sure he's online? Let me get that damage, though. Samurai in control. Whiff just to get the throw. And this is what I was talking about with the walk speed. Look at how quick a round can turn. Oh, my God, the whiff punish. Are you serious? Oh, that is the Samurai special. When you want tea, you got to get it from the top shelf. Metsu Go Shirai, you hold it. I want the good tea. I want the good stuff. My man's not drinking regular tea, man. He got a belt made out of rope. That is some old, nasty tea, man. That's real dirt.
What rank do you have to be to have a belt made out of rope?
I don't even know, bro. That's hobo rank right there. That means you're doing whatever it takes to survive.
I think that's like ultimate power is what that is. It's life or death, no matter what.
That's hobo rank, baby. You ever seen a hobo will fight tooth and nail, man. I'm just saying, bro. That's the level Akuma is at. If you ever want to know how strong he is, just imagine, man. This dude Samurai is broken, dude.
That was pretty good. I like that a lot. That's one for the books for sure. That should be a rank in like Street Fighter, I feel like. After Master. It's just
After
like,
Master hobo rank. Yo, my man's just trying to survive right now. If it takes a ham sandwich and a Hadouken, we living out here. Game number 3. All right, here we go. I bet you Ryu was eating many a ham sandwich in his day. There's no way. My man ain't even got shoes. Akuma at least has shoes. Ryu was out here traversing the world barefooted. What about tetanus? Anyway, game number 3.
Listen, Akuma was selling fruits on the street of India in
this
the
is
animated
true.
movie. Okay?
I told you, whatever
he was
it takes
making
to
his money
survive.
for these sandwiches.
Hobo status. That's hobo rank, bro. All right, here
He
we
knows
go.
what he has to do.
And there's the neutrals that I was, once again, consistent with punish. Are we online? Can we check his connection?
I'm starting to think Samurai moved in with.
I'm just saying, he's in the basement. He was like, I gotta play who? He moved into the basement. They're subleased to the basement. Samurai's down. Oh, activate.
Uh-oh. Oh,
Mega
barely
Man
off the
jump him
mark.
out of here. Trying to traverse the level, bro. Walk up, throw.
Forward
That's what
throw.
I was talking about. Control of the neutral is one of the things both of these guys have in common. They're both really strong at it. Colleen even more so, because if she gets that trigger activation, she's gonna be smooth.
One of the things, though, I noticed is that Samurai is not afraid to walk back on defense because of the little threat that Colleen presents, right? She can't do much off of a low medium kick unless she has V-trigger. So as soon as he's within range and he gets knocked down and he sees that option as a thing, right? He's just gonna walk back and take that hit. Very little damage for very little risk, honestly. So that's fine with him. He's controlling the pace a lot more now with the life lead. The trigger is not on deck for Nephew, which is a huge deterrence to his offense, right? There's no big openings that you could expect from Nephew quite yet.
Be careful. Yeah, the heavy kick, there it is, man. That's one of the Samurai specials. The Air EX Fireball, nice DP. Tries to use the double jump to get out of there. And look at him, just hanging, giving him the room to hang himself. Just backdashing, not giving up any space, didn't use any meter. And look at the clock, 12 seconds. You know Samurai is content with that.
And he wasn't overzealous with the normal choice either. That was the best thing, is that Samurai, honestly, as soon as he saw Nephew chasing him down, he was going to optimize with crouch short instead. He was like, you know what? I don't have to take any big risks. Was that a cross-cut DP?
What? Oh my God, he blocked that. I was scared. I was so scared. I'm like, man, I can't believe he called that out. Parabellum hands, get to the corner.
That might have been an overlapping input, unfortunately, from the side of Samurai. Really unfortunate, but either way. Great for Nephew. Great pickup as well. Close to stun. A throw? Probably no.
I like the jab just to make sure it has something waiting for him so he won't retaliate.
Ooh.
I like that, covering the bases, make sure those jabs are there. Now those jabs are really good for stopping the dashing, especially from Colleen, especially at that range where we've seen where Nephew has done so much work.
And look at him hanging back. He's just gonna be taking this chip damage from the fireballs, and that's what I'm talking about, the background house. I was waiting for that, just at the range to trade and deter Samurai from throwing these bad boys, right? He's gonna take a little bit of chip. He's totally content with that. He has the life lead, he can do whatever he wants. And if anything, the more of these that he takes, the more gauge he builds. There it is, V-trigger on deck now for Nephew. Low, medium kick, patented Samurai with the empty jump low.
As soon as he got that trigger, that's when he turned on the offense. The overhead just stopping the active, that was crazy. Oh, to get over it. What is happening right now? The jump back. Air to air with the jump light, stays on the same side, confirming the CA done.
Retsuha. Samurai.
It looks like a dragon is coming out of the ground when he does the CA. It literally looks like a dragon is coming out of the ground. 2-1 Samurai.
No, I like the maneuverability that Nephew presented with that V-trigger to get past the EX fireballs, but I feel like he ran out of trigger more so than Akuma did, and that was kind of a big deal because he wasn't getting anything out of it. He was just avoiding that pressure, avoiding potential damage, but still Samurai clutching it out with the critical art. It was interesting to see from Nephew, but without a doubt, I'm sure he's got something up his sleeve in terms of how he can make that V-trigger really effective in this matchup.
I can tell you right now, Nephew has never really been one to do big crazy combos with V-trigger. He uses it as a pressure tool. A lot of times he's done this, he's like, oh, I have trigger now, you're going to back up, and I can open you up with tick throws, right? And that's why he's always gotten these smaller combos. If he has meter, he can vanity step, spin that, carry you to the other corner. Samurai taking the opposite route. He's like, look, you have trigger, I'm actually just gonna back up. We saw several rounds go down to single digit count because he was slowing down the pace that much. So smart by Samurai. And he's been using that standing medium kick. You talked about the range Colleen has, but the standing medium kick from Samurai has been one of the best tools. He's gotten multiple whiff punishes to start up his momentum, and there's a good challenge from Nephew this time around to get a crush, knockdown, gonna start the momentum for himself.
It's kind of tough, right? Samurai's kind of hovering around the ranges where he could at least get a stand fierce, maybe a medium kick as well. But for the most part, Nephew has been very solid in terms of what normals he wants to use. He's been very choosy with fierce, back roundhouse, hanging in that range, and it's kind of obvious. Now it's kind of the question whether or not Samurai can whiff punish it, or if he's going to even bother, because again, it's kind of tough to call online.
Backdash gets out of their side switch, Samurai still
the damage option, I like it. Very, very solid. Oh, he covered the V reversal. He knew it was coming. Dashing up again, gets checked, this time by Nephew. Clean activation, back-to-back activation. Here comes Samurai now. The EX air fireball, full conversion.
CA?
You already know.
And look at, and I'm gonna tell you right now, if you go back and look at every one of the matches Samurai has ever played, the way that they're respecting each other. I've never seen raw trigger activation to combat a raw trigger act. That's like some third strike Street Fighter 4, I'm playing Yun Mirror stuff. What? That's what that is. It's like, oh, would you activate it? Or now I gotta activate too. Like, that's what it feels like.
Except this wasn't a standstill. These guys absolutely went ham.
Yeah, that's true.
And got the opening. Samurai got the opening, I should say. And there was so much damage on that conversion too. Off of the jabs, he gets the Tatsu, extra damage with the fireball, extra damage with the Dragon Punch, cancelled into critical art.
Walk up, tries to get the throw. There's the activation once again. And look at how quickly Nephew will activate that trigger just to get control, right? And it just gives him momentum back in the game. And he, like I said, he doesn't use it for these big damage conversions. He uses it to keep the momentum, kind of like inch his way back in. But Samurai, even the wise, are saying, you know what? I'm not going to give you any ground to make anything happen. Opting for the defensive route, just backing away, giving him space, playing the clock.
My goodness.
And no trigger. Look at this. Look at the amount of trigger that's been wasted from the fact that Samurai is just running away. Air-to-air jump light, same side again. That was the same situation that got Samurai the W.
That is probably the cleanest example of neutralizing the threat of V-trigger from the side of Colleen. The way that Samurai played that, you have to take a look and study that, because that is a great example on how to stall out Colleen.
I feel like that's one of the things that has become more and more evident in the world of Street Fighter V. You have to play defensive when that trigger becomes active, especially versus certain people. And stay away from me. Social distancing. You see the fireball? That's the mask. That's a facial mask. He says to get away from me, bro. 6 feet. Give it to me.
He gave it to you twice. He doubled up on that. That was hand sanitizer and a mask. He wanted to make sure there was no threat of virus whatsoever.
Hand sanitizer.
It's true. It's true.
Wow.
The cleanest of plays.
The cleanest of plays.
100%.
And germs. Completely done. The CA wipes out all the germs. All right, here we go. Samurai. Nephew. Samurai on set point. Who would have saw? I would love to know the odds on a match like this. Because for me, I feel like we talk to a bunch of these people, right? We talk to the players. We talk to people who watch these guys play. I'm interested to know the outlook on some of the people watching these matches. Make sure you guys discuss it, because I'm definitely going to go and make sure I pay attention to it as well. I love to hear the banter between players who side with their champions, right? Man, I think Samurai is going to take it. I think my boy Nephew's going to take it. Let's see how it plays out. Game number 5.
Man, those crouch strongs again, being so plus, being able to like lead to so many different routes as well. But back-to-back crouch strongs, you're hanging in there for a cool minute. Don't press a button, you're going to get frame trapped. The first knockdown. V-skill 2. That's what I'm talking about. Who gave her a command grab?
Whose idea was that? Now my boy got frostbite. Look at him. He's blue, man. I mean, he ain't wearing no shirt, and you know, it's very cold. But you know, you get what I'm saying. But still, once again, like Samurai content with just playing the lane game, using fireballs to get chip damage. Finally gets that effect.
But he missed the conversion
Side
too far out. And the damage ended.
Taking the DP for the Oki this time. Oh, that was supposed to be EX Vanity Step to get through. No.
Oh, back-to-back fireballs, just taking it to the dome.
Yeah, no meter on the side of Nephew, so he's not able to make anything happen other than this V trigger. And the EX Demon Flip?
Oh, boy.
Oh, side switch.
The online classic.
Ready for the block. Look at the life bar on Nephew, though.
You see Nephew, he's just trying to build meter a little bit. Chip is not imminent yet. But he runs into that last fireball. He thought he had an opening with the hail, but it wasn't enough for Nephew. Just running out of time. I think that was a punish. I'm pretty sure if I saw that animation back, I'm pretty sure that was a punish.
No, I think you're right, actually. The heavy kicks. You can see those fireballs are what Nephew is looking for. He can start swinging a little bigger. Probably get these crush counters that he needs, but Samurai just backing up. Tries to get entry with the air fireball. Nephew's defense looking really sound right now. Full CA available for Samurai.
And you see that? He knows exactly when to swing. Samurai, that is, with that medium kick. Getting that knockdown again. Activation raw from Nephew. Off of the back roundhouse,
Spend it, baby. Set point right now for Samurai.
Oh, sit him down. One more touch can do it. Oh, it's so close. It's so close. He sees the gates. He finds the key, opens up the lock, and takes it down. He's in there.
This dude, Samurai, and the way he controlled the neutral was just by setting up the jabs. He was like, look, you're not going to walk forward because you're going to be paying way too much attention to the fact that I have these jabs out here, these normals to make you respect the spacing. That was so smart of him to make sure that he's not going to get comfortable playing that footsie game, playing that tick throw game. We talked about how strong Colleen had with the normals to make sure you respect them, especially because she's crushing you a lot of times. Akuma's walk speed, I felt like, kind of slowed that down. The usage of the neutral fireballs, and then just there to see how that round closed out. The fact that he did a standing jab to stop the vanity step. That was so good.
How do you stop somebody that's completely unpredictable, Steve? You know, Nephew, we preface this with him being an analytical monster, but how do you even judge somebody who's a statistical anomaly, really? You can't predict the movements of someone like Samurai, and it just goes to show you as to how he's OCV'd so many of these teams back to back to back. He's just that unpredictable, and with the perfect character to do so with that many options, right? I think that matchup still could have gone either way had it been a longer set, but man, that is a great preview as to what's to come.
Well, I mean, even still, we have words from our winner.
Well, my strategy was obviously not get crush countered, and I was successful most of the time, and keep my distance with my fireballs. I mean, he's trying to hit my fireball with his heavy kick, or he's trying to crush counter it, or pretty much stopped me from throwing fireballs, and he has to close the gap. And I have to inch in and out of his spacing so that he can't get comfortable with trying to just crush counter me. I feel like me and Nephew play that matchup at the highest level, probably in the world, I think. Well, I want to say big shout outs to Team NASR for picking me up for this event. I'm just really excited to play everybody. You're going to be playing against some of the best players in the world. It's going to be super stacked. And the experience that we're going to gain all together, all of us, is going to be insurmountable.
Samurai coming in with the clutch victory, a very calculated victory, I might add myself. Words coming from the winner right there. I think that it sets up so good for the season what's happening. Just got that sponsor under his belt, taking out a heavy hitter, an anchor, if you will, in Nephew. That interview says a lot about like how Samurai feels about the upcoming season. Vicious, what are your thoughts?
You know, with that win under his belt against Nephew, again, this is only a preseason. You got to think back at the bigger picture, right? Nephew is only one of 3, Alpha 3 for that matter. They still have to go up against CJ Truth and Punk if that so happens, right? When that matchup happens, there's still going to be a lot to really dissect out of this because this is pretty much just scouting information at this point. This is an exhibition. This is a preseason. Don't get that twisted. Like, these guys are making sure that they are in fine competitive shape when it comes down to the actual showcase, right? This was only a little bit of what both Samurai and Nephew have to offer in terms of the matchup. I'm really excited to see them play now that we've seen how, Samurai has dominated that performance. I'm gonna say it with full respect, obviously. 4-1, if I'm not mistaken? That's gonna be a lot of data for Nephew to collect and be like, all right, now I know what I can use this data for my teammates as well. So again, despite this being an exhibition, there's a lot of data for the likes of Nephew to come back even stronger with his team.
Well, I mean, and that was the main event, right? So we have somebody, and think about this, just to put a little more, context on it, right? This dude Punk called Samurai the Walmart Tokido. And now he's successfully taken out another member of his team, and we haven't even started the season yet. That says a lot, and that was the main event. Of course, our undercard today was Commander Jesse versus Alex Myers, another match that lets you know just how in detail these players go to learn matchups and to be able to execute, even if they are so frequently running into each other, even if it is a local, whether it is online or not. 2 world-class players. What were some of your thoughts about that first undercard match between Alex Myers and Commander Jesse?
One, it was kind of rough to see that matchup because Dawson versus Cammy is pretty difficult for Dawson.
Pretty dumb.
It's pretty dumb. It's pretty hard.
It's pretty stupid.
It's very, very difficult. That is a prime example on how the matchup is really going. I'm kind of curious to see if they ever run it back, if there would ever be a change of characters from Commander Jesse, because to be honest with you, it's a tough match to play out. As much as he can really adapt to Alex Myers, it's still going to be Cammy versus Dawson at the end of the day.
That's
and I'm
true.
going to be completely biased. I think Cammy does a fine job tearing that matchup down.
No, that's definitely true. That's definitely true. I think she definitely does a fine job of controlling everything that Dawson wants to do, but just at a better case. And those are only two of the matches that we have set up for you in this preseason. Of course, these exhibition matches are set up to make sure that these guys get proper representation, kind of get a further scout down the line for future seasons of Street Fighter League. But once again, this is only week 1, but we have more coming for you guys. We're going to get into that right after this break because we're going to talk about some of the matches coming next week. First off, we have NL representing UIU going up against none other than John Dering. That's one of our matches. Another one is Oil King versus the Secret Hot Dog, Hot Dog 29. We're going to talk a little bit more about that right after this break. Join us.
Beyond the battle.
Get ready.
Destroy. Begin.
Let's go.
Disappear. Kneel. Strength to crush the spirit of the king.
Alright! I really like to exercise. And training is a lot of fun.
Time to meet your death, vile insect.
Pull out all the stuff!
Hadouken! Witness the power of the continent! This is the power of the king!
First week, almost in the books. We've given you guys everything you need to know so far about the upcoming season with some of these preseason matches. Tasty Steve, Vicious, both return to let you guys know, fill you in on what's happening. We've had some really, really dope matches today, right? However, that is only the tip of the iceberg for the season, especially considering we got a completely reworked, brand new team, 2 new teams, as well as international players. So just to go over a little bit how that process kind of happened. Now, how the captains were picked for these teams was global CPT points. That means, of course, obviously, iDom would have to go last because he is the current Capcom champion. Now, you also have the fact that, you know, Problem X is an Evo champion. Another CPT champion is NuckleDu, and that's all going to fall by the wayside. So with the first pick going to NASR, they get Samurai as part of their team for SFL, which is genius.
Absolutely.
But the captain is Bigbird, and then you have Angrybird as well. I mean, what kind of team is this going to be coming in the Street Fighter League?
It's going to be a heavy stacked one, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Bigbird and Angrybird have been absolutely consistent in their lifespan of Street Fighter V. Then you have a Street Fighter League veteran. Again, the outlier on the graph, the statistical anomaly, glitch in the matrix, the bald spot you didn't see until your mid-20s. Honestly, this guy is absolutely ridiculous and is such a great pickup for NASR that I wouldn't doubt seeing them in the top 2, top 3 grand finals even. These guys are definitely one of the heavy hitters.
Well, as obvious Middle Eastern representation, Bigbird and both Angrybird have both played on giant stages, EGX, Evo. They're very established players. So those guys having the first pick is still scary, but it's part of the process. UIU was the second. Who did they pick, Vicious?
Well, they have Oil King guiding them, and with their picks, they have the other players representing UIU. They have NL as well as Kami. Again, both of these players, very, very strong choices, not only just for Street Fighter League, but for Street Fighter in general.
Yeah.
We've seen NL have his breakout performance with the likes of Kami back in 2017, 2018, and even stronger in 2019 when he converted over to Akuma full-time, as well as Kami just grinding it out with some of the best players in the United States, time in, again and again, and throughout the entirety of the CPT, as well as streaming from time to time. I definitely catch your streams, Kami. Don't think I'm slipping.
That's true.
But this guy is 100% committed to the craft.
So UIU, just to recap, they got Oil King, NL, and Kami, and I feel like they could have picked from a multitude of players. I feel like because UIU just has a very strong Street Fighter team. I mean, they have strong teams across the board, but their Street Fighter team is definitely some of the strongest in the world. Following them up, for the third pick, we have Team All In, and that is composed of Captain iDom, who had the last pick, and he came up with Phenom and 801 Strider. The team composition here, I feel like, is what's the most powerful thing. And I feel like you have First off, iDom, the current Capcom Cup champion, who's playing 2 underutilized characters, if you ask me. He has a crazy poison, and he also has a Laura. Both of these characters criminally underrepresented. On top of that, you have a champion player who's controlling them. But then iDom goes off and picks not only 801 Strider, but Phenom, another what I would consider a cannon in the world of Street Fighter because he has so many characters. And then just to round him out, just to be safe, you have 801 Strider, who is arguably one of, if not the best Gs on the planet. So like, what now? Like, how is this team going to... It's definitely going to be the wrench in everything. Like, that's how I personally feel.
Oh, yeah. And they call themselves All In for a very good reason. All of the characters that they have, Laura, Necalli, and G, what do these 3 have in common, Steve? They have a command grab. They're going all in. They're committing to that offensive pressure. They're committing to the dunks, and they're going to make sure you feel it. They have such similar mindsets with the characters that they play that I think it's going to work very well in that synergy to figure out how they got to face off against the other teams.
And one of the rivals and the leader who we was just talking about of Alpha 3 will be Punk, followed up by CJ Truth as one of his picks and Nephew as the other pick. What is your thought process? If you're Punk, you're looking at CJ Truth, what are your thoughts? Because we know how smart of a player he is, and we know how small it is of him to be like, well, I have Cammy on my side. He doesn't have that many characters. His character pick, I feel like, is small. So I feel like, what do you do after that?
So I'm looking at it this way. I'm really expecting Punk to really take the mantle of captain, not only in his performance, but how he kind of coaches his team and really guides them along the way. Because if you have guys like CJ Truth and Nephew, they're really great at understanding the matchups and also digesting whatever information you throw at them. So I think it's very imperative that Punk really kind of help them and kind of guide them along the way in each and every one of these matchups, because they're great on their own as Street Fighter players. But if you kind of have someone like Punk to kind of see these kind of little notions of weaknesses against other players, I think that's what's going to excel them. I need to see him more as a captain than a player, because we already know how strong he is, but he still has the likes of CJ Truth and Nephew, who are still kind of finding their wings in the Street Fighter League, right?
Yeah.
They've had great performances in the past, don't get me wrong. They're absolutely heavy hitters in the CPT, but I want to see what happens when they're thrown in the situation where they can't use their main character. Because CJ Truth using Cammy primarily, Nephew using Colleen primarily. What's going to happen when those guys get decided on as a target of ban?
That's exactly why I pointed it out. Punk might be taking this a whole lot more seriously than he did last time, considering he has a new team to kind of mesh, meld, and work with, and they're really, really strong this time around. But that's not the last team. Psycho Shinobi, another team that you need to be worried about, and every other team is worried about because it represents some of the finest in international competition. Hot Dog 29, the secret Hot Dog, the one you need the bun for, is the captain of Psycho Shinobi, and he goes and does the craziest thing ever and picks Infexious. This dude is a machine of Street Fighter V. He's like the Nate Dogg of Street Fighter V, bro. He never changes his face, the vocal inflection never changes, and the gameplay is always top tier. Why would you not have Infexious on the squad? Then you have Xian. So not only do you have Xian as a Capcom Cup champion, or Evo champion, excuse me, but you have Infexious, who has been on that big Evo stage. He knows how to play. We saw him at Red Bull Kumite doing amazing things, and now you have Hot Dog 29, another Red Bull Kumite player who has an immaculate team. Thought?
I think this synergy is one of the most dangerous ones. You're taking a look at the characters. Hot Dog has Bison, or Dictator, right? Infectious has Zeku. Xian has Ibuki still. Again, being nerfed in Season 5 with the likes of Ibuki still showing up and getting these top 8 placements, even in Capcom Pro Tour Online, it speaks a ton of words. And it's going to be great with Hot Dog leading the pack. I kind of want to see them and how they do with their secondaries as well. I'm really concerned about that. But overall, I think this team is strong. I just am kind of concerned for them as to who they're going to pick if they're the target of bans.
So once again, you're right. Hot Dog, Infectious, I have questions. Xian is the other Seth player that I know firsthand, and his Seth is stupid. Anyway, Dynamite is the last team to grace us here at Street Fighter League Season 3, and it is nowhere near the weakest. Having a Evo champion as the leader and an international representative, Problem X is the leader of Dynamite, and boom is the name of the game because you have NuckleDu, Daddy Doo-Dang himself, right behind him to bring up, you know, anything that might slip through the cracks. And then, of course, you have Smug. First, you pick NuckleDu, then you pick Smug. Personally, I feel like that's one of the best two players you can have on the coast, and I think they fill out two major things, right? Like with these two, with players like Smug and NuckleDu, they can fill out those gaps. If I send in Smug, Smug is either gonna blow you up and he's gonna give me the information I need to blow you up. And then you have NuckleDu, who is in all intents and purposes one of the minds of Street Fighter. Like, you have to outthink this man if you want to beat him. And that's if you can do that, because he has multiple characters. Same thing goes for Smug. He has a G and he still has the Balrog. NuckleDu has a Gao, has a Mika, has a Cammy, has a G. He has multiple characters. And then Problem X, who will literally just start a stream and be like, I'm gonna play Alex today. And literally can do anything. And he is once again an Evo champion. You guys are in for a treat from Team Dynamite. And personally, I honestly cannot wait. These exhibition matches that we have coming up have done nothing but, I feel like, set the precedent of saying like, well, look, you guys might not be able to see all of these players interact at once, but you will get to see the clashing of styles with a purpose of being the sole winner of Street Fighter League Season 3 and getting the opportunity and the pleasure, plus the honor and the historic value of taking on Team Japan, which we saw come to a head at Capcom Cup last year. Personally, I'm so invested in what's happening because the teams have done everything to propel what Street Fighter V has become, and I'm really excited.
No, without a doubt. I mean, there's nothing more that really can be said except you guys have to check each and every one of these matches because they are of CPT caliber, even Capcom Cup caliber, if I do say so myself. The future of Street Fighter is here with Street Fighter League, and again, you guys do not want to miss it because each and every one of these teams are stacked, and it just brings so much to the table of theory crafting and really just upping your game in general because you're fighting, or you're watching some of the best in the world fight nearly how many matches? Double round robin? It's going to be week in, week out of Street Fighter. You guys cannot miss it.
And that's not even including the fact that you guys are getting the best of 7 right here for the preseason. So, of course, just to recap what we went over today, we had Alex Myers go up against Commander Jesse. Alex Myers takes the set. And then we had Samurai versus Nephew, another amazing set with a surprising result, if you ask me, because a lot of people was probably looking at Nephew to take it, but Samurai was the winner of that. And that says a lot about the mindsets going further into Street Fighter League. The player pool is so large that it's going to be match after match, non-stop action after action. As Vicious says every season, it can only get better. And this is only the preseason. It's only the preseason that you guys are getting this. But just to recap what we're going to have next week. Next week, we're going to have UIU's NL versus UIU's John Dering going up against UIU's Oil King versus Hot Dog. That's going to be our next 2 matches for next week. I'm sure I will see you guys there. And until then, play some good Street Fighter. Peace.